And I think that that's one of the things that has covered them, that has given them a strong foundation to where they are today.
Welcome to the Beauty and You podcast, a safe place created for all women to come relax. Join us as we dive into the true meaning of rediscovery through inspiring guests and topics such as healing, self-love, and creating a positive mindset. So sit back, relax, and get comfortable as we dive into this week's episode. Here's your host, Chi Quita Mack.
Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of the Beauty and You podcast. I am super excited for our next guest. She is amazing, she is inspiring, and she is doing a thing for the youth. Welcome to the Beauty and You podcast. Koach Keisha, how are you?
Thank you. I am well. Thank you so very much for having me here.
Absolutely. I cannot wait to learn more about you, your story, and everything that you're doing. But before we dive into that, tell the audience a little bit more about yourself.
I am Koach Keisha. I am a certified youth and young adult life coach with a background in psychology. I am a mother of three, yes, and I have been coaching ever since 2017. I like to say I have 25 years of experience in coaching because my son is 25, but yes, been coaching since 2017 and just started my business in 2022.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. The youth means a lot to you.
They do. You know, they are our next generation. And sometimes they get overlooked in this new age and new world that we're now facing. And sometimes their voice don't get heard. So it is very, very important that I advocate for them and definitely give them a voice in a kind of like in a crowded space. Yeah.
Absolutely. I can relate to that.
Yes.
And I do feel like we are a different set of parents.
Yes.
I would say it was very important when raising my kids that they were heard and they were not only able to express themselves, but also have opinions and tell me what they like and what they don't like. Not disrespectful. People think when you say that, you're like, oh, you're allowing your child to be disrespectful. It's like, no, I'm allowing them to have a voice. Where did that start from you? What made you want to create an environment where not only your kids have this open space, but you provide that to other people?
It was during the pandemic, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. When the world shut down and my children was in the process of graduating, and graduation didn't look normal for them, right? They were not able to walk across the stage and do the things like that was able to be done normally. So just creating that space for them to really give them some type of voice, skill set, tools to say, guess what? When life throws us lemons, we get to make lemonade. And that equipping them to know that things happen, but it doesn't mean that you give up.
Right.
That means that you keep going, right? And you find hope in whatever that looks like in that situation for you. So I had to become creative, right? I had these young people that are looking up to me and they're like, hey, life just isn't normal right now. What do? We have cabin fever. We're detached from our peers. We're detached from the normal things. So I'm like, hey, let me just think about something that they could at least feel some type of normalcy with and really learn how to embrace hardships, right? Learn how to embrace when obstacles and navigate those obstacles in a mature way.
Okay.
So I created the transitioning into adulthood program to give them the skills, the tools, and the voice to be able to do that and do it safely, do it healthy, and do it whereas not only they're being seen, but they're being supported.
Yes.
Yeah.
One thing when you said the transition, I needed that. Okay. I didn't have that. And I always said I wish that schools, and maybe they do this now, but had a course where it was transitioning into adulthood, like the real world. I remember being 18 and I didn't know how to write out a money order, like something that you think is so simple. I had no idea. And so that transitional part is so important. Can you walk me through what it was like in your teenage years as you were getting ready to transition, some of the tools that you didn't have and you wish you had?
It's so funny that you asked that because I always use this term, when I was transitioning into adulthood and didn't really know that I was transitioning into adulthood. When I grew up and where I grew up, you was dragged, drugged, and jaywalked into adulthood. You
There you
got there the
go.
best
You
way
right
you
about
knew.
that. We
You
was just
got,
getting
yeah, you got there the best way you knew how, and I lacked communication skills. I lacked confidence. I lacked identity. I just knew that you had to go to school, you had to go to work, you had to get a 9 to 5, you had to work hard, you have to, take care of these children, you have to pay bills. That was the order and the structure that was, exemplified before me. But it didn't give me a sense of being. It did not give me a sense of identity. I didn't know who I was. I just know that I was told to do this and this is the way it's supposed to be done. But, looking back now, I'm like, I didn't have any identity. I didn't have no communication skills, right? And those were not the things that was afforded to us when we were in school. When I was in junior high school, we did economics, right?
Yep.
We had like cooking classes, typing classes, but we did not have life coaching classes.
There you go.
And one thing I've learned about life coaching is it's for a lifetime because there are different stages in life, and we all going to transition into adulthood, middle age, senior. Life is about transitioning, and it is very, very imperative that the youth and young adults have what they need to make a healthy transition so that they do not find themselves in gang affiliations, unorthodox practices, or illegal behaviors. Because when they don't have the support in making a healthy transition, they get absorbed with societal oppression and how it should be done.
Absolutely.
And it's absolutely, completely the opposite of what life really, really is all about.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel like you were telling my stuff. I'm like, yep, that's what I had to do. Yeah. I just knew, like you said, what I had to do.
Yes.
Like, you're going to go to high school, you're going to go to college, you're going to get the job, you're going to get married, you're going to have the kids, you're going to, right? And
Yes.
I was the same thing, just following the order. Just talked about this last night too. I still didn't know who I was. I had no idea. 18, didn't know who I was. 21, didn't know who I was. 25, didn't know who I was. I had no idea. I was doing what they told me to do. I was very quiet. Didn't talk. Yeah, no communication skills. I'm like, girl, you talk about me. It's the same thing.
Yes.
I didn't know how to communicate. Do as you're told. Don't push, even if it didn't feel right. I didn't push back. No idea. And it's just like I was thrown into society. Like, what is this? What am I supposed to do? Am I making the right decision? How do I know? I didn't know.
Yeah.
It wasn't until like now, maybe a few years ago, that I started to learn who Chiquita was, what Chiquita likes. And I really wanted that to be different for my kids, which is why it was like so important. You guys have a voice. You guys have a choice.
Yes, absolutely. And I definitely could relate to your story. The light bulb did not go off in my head until I was 28. Now I'm 28 with these children, don't know who I am, right? Had no communication skills. Like, I was just doing what I was structured to do. And when the light bulb finally went off, like, oh, I'm an adult. I have to pay bills. I have lives that are dependent upon me, right? I have to go to work. I have to make a living for myself. Oh, you got to go to school. So all of these things really did not become reality to me until I was 28. Now you're talking about 2 years away from being 30.
Yeah.
I have missed an entire teenage, early 20s, and really did not have no identity, did not have any knowings of what I really was doing. I was just going along just to get along. And I did not have a voice, and it didn't feel good then. But knowing that the youth and young adults really have someone that advocates for them in this space to give them the tools that they need to make healthy decisions versus being told what to do. We all have a choice,
Yes.
right? And we all want to be heard. And I always think that the youth and young adults, they know what they want. They just need some support and guidance in getting them to where they want to be. And that's the space that transitioning into adulthood really creates for them. They're our next generation. They're going to be the people that's going to take care of us.
They are, yes.
So it's very important for me to support them, because when I get up in age, I want them to be able to make those healthy decisions.
Right, absolutely.
Right? And not be confused about that, and not be, indecisive about which direction that they need to go. And so it's very, very important that we give them a platform to do that in, and also equip them versus saying, they're bad. They just don't get it. They're doing this and they're doing that. But how we equip them. It's one thing to be trained, but it's another thing to be equipped with what you need in order to handle day to day. Yeah.
Absolutely. I ask questions. Like if my son, hi Trey, if my son does something that I do not quite like, and I'm still upset, but I still ask the questions. Just talk me through it real quick. What were you thinking? But okay, that's what you was thinking. All right. Why did you think that? And let's really talk about it, because I want to know. And sometimes he's like, well, I don't even know myself. I just did it. I don't even know. And then sometimes it's like, well, I was just curious.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, you were curious. And I get that.
Yeah.
And I understand that.
Yeah.
But this is the bigger picture I want you to see. And so that helps a lot.
Yes.
With that understanding. And he's, I learned my lesson this time. I'll never do. I'm like, great. I'm happy that we came to that versus yelling, you're grounded. Don't talk to me. I don't have time for it. Whatever. It's like, let's just figure out, it might be something there. Are you extremely stressed? Are you overwhelmed? Is basketball getting to you? Are the grades getting to you? Something's not connecting for me. Tell me. Let's figure it out. So that was very important. And then even with my daughter, what's going on? How do you feel? Well, I'm sad. Why are you sad?
Yeah.
Okay, let's figure it out.
Yeah.
And I just feel like that's so important to teach them that now. But back in the day, it's like, girl, what you sad for? Go upstairs.
Yes.
Back then for us.
Yes. And, with them having this new platform, I want them to know that it's available to them. Not only is it available physically, but it's available spiritually.
Yes.
Because that's one of the key components as well. I used to pray with my children every morning to school. On the way to school, we would pray. And we would take turns. We would alternate. And everybody had their day. And Tuesdays were my day. And I would pray from the time we got in the car to the time I got them to school. And I think that that's one of the things that has covered them, that has given them a strong foundation to where they are today, And even though the youth and young adults don't know me right now, and as I continuously to expose this program, this curriculum, I'm praying for them. I'm advocating for them, and they don't even know it, because I believe in them wholeheartedly somebody believed in me at one point or another.
Right.
And I'm believing in them because I know that with the right structure, with the right support, with the right love, with the right care, I know that they can be everything that they want to be, opposed to what society
That
is
part.
saying that they are, right? Really giving them the power to pause, right? To say, hey, I done it wrong, but I get another opportunity to do it right, right? And that they're not their mistakes, and that they can learn life, mentor or mistakes, right?
Yep.
Which avenue do you want to choose, right? And but life is waiting for them.
Yeah. One way or another, right? Like,
Yes.
it's there. So how are we going to get there? What are we going to do?
Yes. And even when you don't have a Coach Keisha, or even when you don't have a Chiquita as a mom, you have these tools, you have these skills that have transformed your mindset, that with that, you can make a healthy decision in that moment, the best way that you know how to do that, and be able to understand the consequences with that, right?
Absolutely.
Whether it's good or whether it's bad, whether it's temporary or whether it's long term. But whatever that is, know that they made the best decision with the tools, the development, the skills that have been imparted into them. That makes a huge and a significant impact in their life. Yeah.
Absolutely. That mindset. Like when you said mindset, I was like,
Yes.
girl, that's key right there. That mindset. We want to get it now. We want to get the mind, we want to mode now.
Yes.
But the mindset is so important. And I do feel like it's so much harder for our youth these
Yeah.
days. And a lot of the things that we can laugh and joke about it. But like some of the things that we actually went through
Yeah.
back then, I don't necessarily think they're equipped to handle it now. And I think it's important to recognize that. Like, it's a different time. This social media thing is crazy. Like, yes, we use it for our businesses, but let's talk about the youth part and how they use social media, whether they're posting the good and the bad or something. It lives forever. It's just such a different time, the cyberbullying and things like that. So it's important that we equip their minds with, okay, how are we going to get through this? Give them confidence now. Give them empowerment.
Yes.
Teach them self-love and what it
Yes.
means to love who they are.
Yes.
And tell them how important it is to be who they want to be and make those right choices and talk about tribes and people. I just think those are the things that, well, I know I didn't get back then. And I wish I had.
Yes.
But it's important to teach that to them now. Absolutely. Walk me through what it's like to be coached by Koach Keisha.
Yes. So it's so funny because every individual and every youth is different, right? And they bring a different feel to each session, I know that we are all uniquely different, but we are somewhat the same. We're human, right? We are all human. And I'll allow the youth and young adults to be human, right? They are human beings that are human, that are having beings,
Yeah.
They are in this world. And when they show up for a session, I always tell them, I'm here for you, right? What you and I discuss is between you and I. It's not between me, you, and your parents. I create that safe space for them that they can really let their guard down. I'm here to help you. I've been where you are.
Yeah.
I can relate to what you're going through. I'm not going to say, oh, you don't know. You don't know. I won't do that. I will support you from beginning to end. And those sessions really, really look like they cry. And my heart breaks the moment I see their heart break. Because they're actually experiencing being a human being, right? A human that is actually being. I'm going through something that social media really requires that I be this way. But I'm intellectually another way. And my heart is steered in another way. So when they show up to the sessions, I just allow them to be. I allow their heart to break. I allow a judgment-free zone. I'll allow them to create how this coach and client relationship is established, because it's not about me. It's solely about them. I'm here to serve them with every fiber of my being, because I know what it's like to be. And creating that space for them. Speak freely. And sometimes it may not be the way that I want it to be.
Of course.
It may be a little vulgar, right? There may be some language exchange, but I want them to get that out, and then we can clean it up.
Got it. Absolutely. I understand that.
We have to clean it up, because when you go into these professional settings, we must be able to, be the best version of ourselves as possible. So those sessions are very judgmental, free, without judgment. It's with love. It's with care. It's with compassion. It's with passion. And sometimes we go over the time, because I don't want them to feel constrained within a certain amount of time when they have tried to pack in 18 years of hurt, of not being heard, being misunderstood. And when they cry like, oh, am I going to see you again or next week? And I'm like, yeah, and I'll allow them to send out a text message if they need to. If you need me for 15 minutes, shoot me a text. Hey, Coach Keisha, are you available? I have something that is pressing upon me. Yeah. And I will respond, yes, give me 5 to 10 minutes. I'm in this, and I'll be right with you. So I create that additional support, because when that session is over, life is still happening for them.
Yes, that part.
And they don't get it in 1 hour. They don't get it in 45 minutes. Sometimes it takes a year for them to really, really absorb the skills, the development, and, the tools that they need to say, hey, I finally got some foundation and fundamentals of what this is supposed to look like as I transition. I can kind of start inching away from Coach Keisha, but I know that she's available if I need her. Yes.
Hey, y'all, come join me this September 12th at the Westin at the National Harbor for the From Breakthrough to the Bank brunch. Get your tickets down below. I needed you then.
I needed me then.
I'm very thankful for the work that you're doing. It's needed.
Thank you.
It's very much needed. Our youth, they're our future.
Yes.
So creating that space and just allowing them to be, that right there is that, knowing that they have that support. They may feel like they don't have support, but they have Coach Keisha in their pocket, right? They can text you if they need to. That goes a long way to changing their lives. So you're changing lives each and every day.
Yes.
Each and every day. And I see what you post on your social media. Like, you're reaching so many with your message. And it is beautiful.
Yes. Thank you. Again, it's all about them. It's all about what they need. It's all about their future, because it matters to me. I grew up, without my parents. My grandmother raised me.
Okay.
She was my mom, and she just transitioned in January. And, being raised by your grandmother has a different look and feel.
It does. It does.
And she definitely instilled in me love. She gave me that. And it just exudes from me. And with my own young adults, when I started this, I went to them and I was like, hey, would it be okay if I share my love with the world? And they gave me 100,000% support.
I love it.
To share my love, my motherhood love, with society, with the youth, to give them hope, to shine light into a dark area that they may have experienced. And that's what this is all about, right? It's hope, because they hopeless, because they're looking for instantaneous gratification.
Yeah.
They're looking for microwavable fixes. They're in the fast food lions, right? Because they think everything is
Fast.
right. And with that being stated, when it doesn't happen that way, they find themselves in a dark place. It didn't happen for me. Why it didn't happen for me? And I'm here to shine that light, to give hope. That the reality of it is that things take time. It takes 40 weeks, to develop a baby.
That part. That's a long time.
That's a long time. And to do it back to back, But I want them to definitely know that things take time, and to learn that time management, to be okay with failing and getting back up, falling and getting back up, because that's what it's about. It's about being optimistic. It's about finding another path. If that didn't work, try something else. But don't give up. Keep going. Because we all have gifts. We all have talents. And the world needs to see their gifts and their talents in a positive way. I always say that, they have the right thirst. They just don't have the right drink.
There you go.
And we have to provide the right drink, right? They have the ingredients. We just have to bake the right cake for them so that they can eat from it, so that they can be hopeful from it, so they can know that they're being served, with love and with gratitude.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Their path. I say that a lot to my son. It's like, your path is your path.
Yes.
Your journey is your journey. Stop looking at them.
Yes.
Stop it. He's like, Mom, how come they got this? Because that's their path. That's not your story.
It's not.
Like, your story's going to be so dope, though.
Yeah.
You just got to keep going, okay? So we talk about that a lot. It's just like, it's what's for you is for you. What's meant for you will hit. I said, what's meant for you will hit you. What's not will miss you. And we just got to keep that going,
Yes.
okay? Because your story is going to be so cool.
Yes.
Absolutely. All right, talk to me about your book.
Yes. So the 10 principles for transitioning into adulthood. 10 is my favorite number. I was born on the 10th day. And 10 is a significant number spiritually. It really brings a strong foundation for them. And in this book, it gives them the tools, the principles that they really need to hold themselves accountable. It's identity. It's accountability. It's order. One of the things that the youth and young adults really struggle with is order. And they really don't understand how important order is, right?
Yes.
They go to Chick-fil-A and they get an order.
Yeah.
They go to McDonald's and get an order. But you have to stand in line in order for your order to be taken.
I like that.
Right?
Yeah.
So this book really allows them to put their life in line and to put their life in order and really, really take accountability, learn their boundaries, learn life lessons, learn what works and what doesn't work. And it really gives the pros and the cons. It really tests the mind. It really, really, it's relatable. It really, really allows them to reflect back, right? And gives them self-respect. And I want them to really use this workbook as a foundation that when Koach Keisha goes away, when mom and dad goes away, I have a tool that I can go to. That's how I learned when I was in college.
Yeah.
A book. I can go back and retain that information. I can go back and touch it. I can reread it. And this book is that foundation for them. It was birthed with them wholeheartedly in mind. It really gives them the deep dive and the difference between coaching and therapy. Because I want them to know the difference, right? Yep. A lot of the youth and young adults shy away from therapy because they think that therapy is like the worst thing ever. Yep. And it really travels them back in a space that may be traumatizing or painful for them. But I want them to understand that coaching is about what's happening and what's for your future. We can't change the past, but guess what? We can navigate a more positive future. And that's what the book really gives them, that foundation. And these principles are strong, right? And there is a dedication page inside of this book that is solely dedicated to them. And then there's a page in there that says, be yourself, because that's the key to life. You can't be anybody else but yourself. And these principles is the tool. It is the GPS. It is the navigation system that really supports them in making this healthy transition.
I needed that book too. I think that's amazing. Not only are you, first of all, wait, let's go back. Because you said coaching and therapy, and the kids don't like therapy. There's adults that don't like therapy either. And I was one of them. So I'm like, you talk about the kids, adults don't. Y'all need adults. You might need this book too to transition your past and your childhood trauma. But yes, I think it's important that you are giving them the order, the 10 principles, and you're doing it in a way that they can take it and reflect on that.
Yes.
Journaling has saved my life.
Yes.
Okay. It started my workbook.
Yes.
You know, and so to give them something that they can have and write in, it's theirs, write in as freely as they would like, and then go back and reference. Or even they call you like, did you open your workbook? Did you look at that part? What did you say there?
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about this. Let's expand on that. Allowing them to do that. Again, you're creating another safe space for them in a workbook. So we needed that.
Yes. And it's also drawing them back in intellectually. They've gotten away from that, right?
I agree.
Because everything is text message. Everything is DM, IM, and all of these abbreviations.
Yes. Some I don't know what they mean.
They have created a new language, right? So it's really drawing them back into being intellectual. Really, really understand how to communicate, how to read, make it stick, right? And using it, putting it into action, going back. You have to go back because this is retrospect. You get to go back and reflect. You get to go back and hold yourself accountable. Well, guess what? I put this down. And if you can't take your own self seriously, how are you going to be able to introduce yourself to the world, right? And they're a generation, they want entrepreneurship. They just don't want to be tented to a 9-to-5 desk.
Nope.
They want entrepreneurship, right? But they must understand the fundamentals and the foundation to entrepreneurship and life in general.
Yep.
And this book is that structure for them. And there are some adults that has purchased this book.
Seriously?
And they're like, girl, I needed this. Like, and I'm talking about women that are in their 40s, women that are in their 60s, and they're really realizing that I did not transition into adulthood the right way.
Yep.
They pretty much can relate to me. Dragged, drugged, and jaywalked into it.
Listen,
You know?
here we are. Like, what is going on?
Here we are. These bills is here. These kids is here. You know, and we have to do what we need to do in order to survive. So this is a structured book, thought out. I'm talking about specifically with them in mind, because I want them to be prepared for the world. Because you have to be prepared. You can't just go out, you know, just feeling your way out, you know. I'm perfectly fine with you being afraid, but I want you to be prepared. Yeah, you know, because sometimes we have to do it afraid. But you have to be prepared. Because if you go out there and you're unprepared, this world
will eat you up.
Eat you up. And then it will discourage you, you know. And they have enough of that within their own peer circle. So if they have that, it'll be like from peer to peer, each one teach one. And this book is that foundation for them.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. When you said they're all about entrepreneurship, I'm like, yep. Because that's all Trey talks about is, I'm going to be a designer. I'm like, bet, you're going to be a designer? Cool. Let me see your business plan. He's like, oh, I got to do what? Yes.
Yes.
You have to do these things. I will support you 100%. I'm ready to invest, my boy.
Yes.
I need to see your business plan. Oh, my God, bro. Can I just do the logo? Logo's cute.
Yeah.
I need to see your business plan. So it's like going back and teaching them, like,
Yes.
I will support whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
But I need to see your plan.
Absolutely.
And how are we going to do this? And what is the cost to make a sample? And what is the quality on that? He's like, you're asking about these questions because we have to ask and get these questions answered. So understanding, like, it's going to be really cool at the end, but we have to do the work in the beginning. And it's kind of like with the transition that you're doing with them is they have to do the work in the beginning in order to transition into their adulthood. I can look back in my life and be like, dang, your childhood was jacked up, girl. And that's what things that I took with me, but I didn't know how. But I know how to do those things now. So now I'm operating in my light, but I had to do the work that I didn't do before because I didn't know how to do the work before.
Yeah.
So it's very important. Very, very important.
And another thing too, for them is really not taking social media so serious.
Oh, yes, for sure.
Social media is filtered, and it's not the reality of life. That when all of that goes away and you're looking in the mirror, it's you against you. So I want them to know that, and I want them to be comfortable and confident in who they see in the mirror and know that I am enough just the way that I am, right? Just the way that I am more than enough because I have what I need in order to get what it is that I want, right? Because it may not look good and it may not feel good in the beginning, but I want them to know that everything is working out for their good. And in due season, they're going to reap if they don't give up. And this book is that strong foundational piece that really propels them to that transition. Now, look, I've heard people say, well, what about the 30-year-olds? And what about the 40-year-olds? Well, hey, we haven't gotten there yet. The book is good for the old and the new.
Listen, anyone can do this. Okay, trust me.
Yes.
It's a transition. And some of y'all 30 and 40 didn't do the transition, so just get the book.
Just get the book, right? Because it's like, how can I teach you all how to transition and you think you got life already all figured out anyway at this middle age in life.
Yeah.
So definitely,
funny.
this book is for all ages, and it definitely gravitates more to the ages of 13 to 25. Because
good.
what I have found out, what I have been told, and what I have also witnessed and discovered, that some of our youth and young adults are actually caring for their younger siblings in the ages of like they're 13, 14, having to get their sisters and brothers dressed who are 6 and 7, 8 and 9, pick them up from school, walk them home, do the microwave dinner.
Yeah.
Right? And they're wondering, like, how did I get drafted into a space that I have no clue about? Only if I have something that can give me an inkling of an idea of what it is that I'm doing.
Oh my gosh.
That's where this comes into place, right? Identity, boundaries, life lessons, right? Being able to understand the difference in what they want and what they don't want, making those decisions. Because at the age of 14, and you're caring for your younger siblings, that's really, your life is being pulled away from you. You're not enjoying your teenage years. I remember when my son was 14 and my youngest son was there 4 years while he was 12. And I used to say, oh, can you watch him while I run to the store? He's like, Mom, I'm not watching your son. That's your responsibility. That's your son. He's like, I'm in the house. I'll make sure if anything happens, I'll be sure to get him out if something takes place and make sure he's good. He's like, but I'm not watching your son. And a lot of the youth and young adults don't have that option. It's like, get your sister, get your brother, right? And get them dressed. I'll be there in 20 minutes.
Yep.
So, and they're really not prepared. They're really not equipped for that transition, right? And again, they're drugged and dragged into it and drafted into it. So this book is definitely geared towards those ages, right? And it has been absolutely from what I have been told, like, girl, you should have been done this.
Told you we needed that. Because you're saying that, I'm like, oh my gosh, I remember. I was that.
Yes.
Get your sister, go down the hall, pick your sister up, walk to school together. Then I had to feed her. Then I had to help her with her homework. Then I was literally, I just talked about this. I was mom's sister.
Yes.
And to the point to when my sister got older, she would be like, I need you to be mom right now, and she'll tell me something. And then she's like, I'm going to tell you something, but I don't need you to be my mom. I need you to be my sister. Like, that's how much I raised my sister. And I'm like, girl, now I'm just sister because we ain't got time. But yeah, I remember that. I really, really do. I want to say thank you. Thank you for everything that you're doing. Thank you for living in your light and following your passion and honoring your gift. I needed you then, but I have you now. So
you.
It's all good. I want you to tell the audience where they can connect with you and even where they can buy your book.
Yes. So connect with me on Instagram at D for PLC, and that stands for Destined for Purpose Life Coach, Koach Keisha. You can connect with me on Facebook, Coaching by Keisha. You can connect with me on LinkedIn, Koach Keisha. You can connect with me on TikTok for the youth and young adults. I am on TikTok under Koach Keisha. The Koach Keisha is just, you can't miss it with the K, right? So it's Koach Keisha with the K. You can also connect with me on my website at www.coachingwithaK2.com. You can find me anywhere on any social media platforms. My books are on Amazon.com. Woo for that. I'm also on 14 other platforms with my books. I'm on Barnes & Nobles. I'm on Smashwords. I'm on Ingram Spark. So feel free to visit any of those platforms. Visit my website that would navigate you to any of those platforms to purchase the book and really enjoy the experience of it.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. I really enjoyed you today, and we're forever connected, so don't worry about it. We're going to be reaching out to each other after this. All right, you guys, I will link all of her information in the show notes. Please connect with Koach Keisha. I wish I had her then, but like I said, I have her now. If you are listening to this wherever you stream your podcast, make sure you leave a review. And if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. All right, you guys, until next time. Next time.